Welcome to the Chill Chats. I'm Ashleigh Rose.
And I'm Jenna.
And we are two halves of a chronic shit show.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. Well, welcome to our season finale. You have made it through 10 episodes of us yapping. Congratulations.
Thank you for being here for this whole season.
Oh my gosh. Yes, thank you so much for being here this entire season. And we appreciate your, what am I trying to say?
Support.
Yes, thank you. I was like, what is the word? I forgot the word. We appreciate your support beyond words, quite literally. It means so much to us. And we are just so thankful, really, truly. And on that note, we will start with our Rose and Thorn.
Do you want to go first?
I guess I'll go first. Okay. My thorn would be the fact that I cried myself to sleep last night because I had the worst migraine I have had in I want to say several months, but possibly a year. Like I used to get chronic migraine all the time. And then for some reason, I don't know, just like I equaled out. I stopped getting migraine so much. And now when I get them, there's a lot of time in between. It just knocks me out. And I did not see this one coming at all. And I literally cried myself to sleep. I cried myself to sleep.
I think the last migraine I had too, I did that.
I mean, they suck, especially with the pain behind the eye. I was in the darkest of my room.
Usually I am crying on my couch in a mess and I don't understand why I'm crying, and then all of a sudden it's like a migraine. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like,
you can like feel it coming on, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And I like tried to, I don't know if anybody else can relate to this. I just tried to not have it. I was just like, no, I'm not getting this. Like it's going to go away. And it just didn't. It didn't. And I took medicine and everything. And that's how I know it was really bad, because the medicine didn't even touch it.
I would be so curious because you said you used to have more migraines frequently, and I used to have them too. Like in high school, I had multiple a week, and all of a sudden they've kind of like spread out, where now I have some every once in a while or a few months, but they're really intense.
Yes, exactly. It's almost like it makes up for, instead of having them often, they're just like, you're going to have one. It's going to be sprinkled, but it's going to knock you the fuck out. You're like, okay.
Yeah. Did you ever get aurora migraines? I used to get those all the time and I couldn't see.
No, literally. And I think it's interesting too, because when I was first diagnosed with MS, I wonder if it has something, it has to be somehow connected. If anybody has the answer,
I would be
please
so
let us know.
curious. Or like with treatment, I don't know if treatment would help at all, but I feel like I've gotten less since being on treatment, so I don't know.
Ooh, that's a good point. I do wonder if our MS medications like help, because when I first went to my MS specialist, he was like, yeah, you qualify for having chronic migraine because you get more than 3 a month or something like that. And I was getting them, like I was like getting like 2 or 3 a week. Okay. It was intense. And then the medications for me wouldn't work. Like I was on
none
2.
Of them worked.
Yeah, none of them worked. I was a zombie. It was awful. Awful. Listen, everyone's body is different, but I do feel for me, living an anti-inflammatory lifestyle, eating well, that kind of stuff does help me. Just it helped me align my footing, drinking enough water. There's just a lot of things, and electrolytes also help. Salty foods, all that kind of stuff, I feel like have helped me. But I don't really know why I don't get them as often anymore. But this one last night, literally cried myself to sleep. It was so bad. So that has to be my thorn.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. But as far as my rose, let me think. I feel like I started the season with this. I'm going to end the season with this, would be doing this podcast with you. I just genuinely feel so fulfilled. And the support that we've also gotten from this, like it just feels right. It feels like the right move. It feels so fulfilling. Like I don't know how else to describe it. And it has to be my rose. I just feel so happy doing this, having this time with you and getting to share our thoughts unfiltered and raw, and just also the fact that we don't always agree and we have 2 very different perspectives is exciting. I'm happy I'm not just doing this with somebody who's like exactly like me. We're very different. And I love that. And I love that people who are listening also enjoy that. I feel like one of the most comments I get is how much people love, like, we are 2 halves of a chronic shit show.
And we are.
And we really
are. Shit show, guys, so.
We're just shit shows. It's fine. And how people can relate to that. It feels really good. So that has to be my rose for this week.
I love that. That kind of just made me emotional. I think it's been so nice doing this with you, and I'm glad that we're here doing it.
I'm glad too. Okay, what about you? Rose and thorn.
Okay, I'm gonna start with my rose first. Well, I could do 3. I was gonna say you say in the podcast. I had some planned, and then I was like, you threw me off with that. But I agree.
So
Rose would be the
sorry.
podcast. My second one, I was gonna say Bruno Mars. I went to Bruno Mars this week with my mom, which was fun.
So sweet.
And it was just nice seeing her have such a good time because she's had a really rough last 10 months. And so it was just kind of nice to have that like little glimpse of like my mom that I've known growing up and who hasn't been going through such a traumatic experience. So it was just nice to have that. And then I was just going to throw this one in quickly, but I went for a walk this morning. It was nice. It was nice just to start my morning off and sat by the lake. I'm just so much happier. Like, yeah, got up at 6:30, went for a walk, and sat by the lake, and I was just so much more productive, and it was so much nicer. So those are my roses.
You know what state you'd probably enjoy because there's a lot of bodies of water?
Yeah, Florida, but it's too hot.
It is actually. It's so bad. I actually can't go walking in the morning anymore because it's so hot and muggy.
It's the humidity.
Yes. That I have to wait until nighttime. Like literally the sun's about to go down like 7 o'clock-ish. That's when I can go walking. So yeah.
And it does get humid here, but it's like usually towards like August, mid-July. But like this morning it was like a crisp 65 with the sun, and it was just perfect.
Stop rubbing it in my face. You're being rude.
You can come here, so.
I'm okay. It's so funny. I feel like we would thrive if we lived close to each other, but it's just so funny because we're both very adamant about not moving to each other's state.
It's the opposites. We don't agree.
Yeah, we just don't agree. It's okay.
Disagree, and that's okay.
That is so funny. Okay, what's your thorn, Miss Thing?
That my life's a chronic shit show.
It's everyone's thorn.
My health is a chronic shit show.
As I say, did you want to talk about it or you don't want to talk about it? You don't have to.
I think it might. It might be helpful. I got diagnosed with PCOS this week, which actually the day I got diagnosed, they changed it to PMOS, but my doctor still called it PCOS.
It's a very new change. I like to think of it as piss me off syndrome.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that works. I understand the name change, but let me tell you, getting diagnosed on the day that they changed the name was very overwhelming because if you try to Google anything, it's all about the name change and not anything about the
diagnosis.
Mm-hmm. So that's a little overwhelming. But PCOS stands for polycystic ovary syndrome, and the PMOS now is polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome.
Yes, and that makes so much more sense, and it's about damn time that it got named to something that actually makes sense because not everyone with PCOS that was diagnosed with PCOS had the cyst on the ovarian, so it wasn't like a criteria.
Not even like so. That's a confusing thing. So I've had cysts on and off on my ovaries for years. Actually, a lot of times it's my MRIs for my spine, for my MS, that has got them.
Dang.
Sometimes I've had pain with them. Sometimes I haven't. But I have had, I think, 4 found on MRIs for my spine for MS. So, like, that's kind of where. But there's a type of cyst. It's a functional cyst. Also, this is not medical advice. This is just me explaining it from what my doctor told me. So do not hold me accountable. But there's, like, a functional cyst, which is very normal, and most people have them. My doctor explained it, but like you have your ovary, you have your follicle with the egg, and then when you ovulate, your egg gets taken out, and the follicle, sometimes the blood can get in there or something, and it grows a cyst, and those usually clear within 2 to 3 months. Mm-hmm. And so I've had those type of cysts. Those do not have to do with PCOS. Then the thing with the cysts with PCOS is your ovary has more follicles than the average person.
She's using her hands a lot. You guys can't see
I am using my hands.
She is explaining with her hands, and it's helpful. Yep.
But so your ovary has more follicles than the average person. So I have over 20 follicles in my right ovary. But the problem is they're little and they don't mature. And so then they don't ovulate.
Right. Okay.
And so it's actually not about cysts. It's all the little follicles look like cysts. Mm-hmm. And so, like, that's different than the other cysts I've had. But, like, that's why people were, like, with the PCOS and, like, cyst part, my doctor was like, oh, yeah, like, come and saying we have all these cysts. I have PCOS. And it's like, no, actually, the reason it's the cyst in the name is because on a ultrasound, it looks like little cysts, but it's actually just follicles.
So it really never made sense to begin with. It was probably named by a man. No offense to the men listening.
I mean, they didn't
nice.
have an accurate information about the female reproductive system in 2000 is what I learned in school. So my health psychology class. So
yep, that part.
So that's just a little, I think it's overwhelming. It's very overwhelming reading it because like that can lead to pre-diabetes, diabetes, insulin resistant, infertility, like all this other stuff. And it's just another thing. I'm very overwhelmed with the food aspect of it all because it's like, I don't know. I feel like no matter what I eat, I'm screwed, which I'm not, but that's overwhelming. And then on top of that, I do have a cyst as well, my left ovary, that has developed past the functional cyst and now is a complex cyst, and it has a lesion in it. It's abnormal. They don't know what it is. They think it might be an endometrium cyst, which is from endometriosis. So I have to have an MRI to also see if I have endometriosis and to figure out what the hell this cyst is, because it is not a functional cyst anymore. I had my MRI in December, showed a cyst on my right ovary, the size of my ovary. So I have like an extra ovary on it. Holy shit. Then in January, I had ultrasound where I had my right cyst, and then I had one even bigger on my left side, that cyst that developed in a month. Or my left ovary, that there was a cyst on it. And then I had a follow-up. Well, first I talked about this once, but this was the gyno that I went to where I told her everything. And she was like, Googled it, said take magnesium, calcium. And then I met with a new gyno. It took 5 months to get in to see her. And she wanted to get a new ultrasound and then also add in, look for PCOS based off all my irregular period symptoms and what I was telling her, and get hormone testing. Crazy concept that someone listened to me and was like, that might not be normal. And then I had an ultrasound this month, and my right one's gone, but my left one has developed and gotten bigger. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's just a lot.
Yeah, you're really putting the chronic into chronic shit show.
Yeah, literally. It's like one thing after another with my body, and I'm like, can we please give me a fucking break? Because it's like PCOS, I think, is a lot to begin with, but then also knowing, I may also have endometriosis on top of that, and then also there may be something else going on. It's just like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's a lot. And then you've talked about that grief process too that comes with a new diagnosis of like, okay, you're processing it, you're overwhelmed, you're feeling all your feelings, and you're allowed to feel that way. You're also grieving a life that you thought you'd have. You never thought that PMOS would be a part of your life. And so you're feeling a lot of things right now, and give yourself grace. Practice what you preach. It's always easier to share it with others than to do it ourselves, but definitely give yourself some grace here. 1 foot at a time, just keep doing the diagnostic testing to figure out what it is exactly. And if your mind spirals, just pulling it back to what you know, what is true, what is fact right now, and letting the diagnostic test kind of guide you in the direction of what you need.
I have my MRI in 2 weeks, and I just put that all the endometriosis cyst and all that stuff, locked it away in a little jar, because I'm like, I can't think about that. I can't look stuff up about it. It's just too much. I'll focus on the PCOS. I have to deal with my torn labor. I'm like, I have other things going on. I'm like,
yeah, you're going through so much.
I'm like, oh my God. So I don't know. I would be curious if there's anyone who has MS and PCOS/PMOS and has any advice. That would be helpful, because I'm like, what the hell? I need to contact my neuro, but I don't want to deal with that.
Are you going to try and contact them to let them know that you
and I just want to make sure, like with Mavenclad, it won't screw anything up, switching treatment and like,
girl, get on that. Don't wait.
Supplements and stuff for like hormone. I don't know. I hate birth control. I do not want to go on hormones either, so I'm not happy.
No, I will say this. There are ways to manage PMOS without birth control. Okay.
Yeah, I know that. The thing is, she said if there's endometriosis, it's a whole different thing, and I have to, because I need to stop it from growing.
Absolutely. Obviously, always work with your medical team. Just 1 foot at a time.
But guess what? I can have strokes on hormonal birth control unless it's just the progesterone, because I get migraines with the auras, and you can have strokes. That's a side effect. That's why you can't be on hormonal birth control.
Girl, I'm gonna need you to chill the fuck out. Okay.
I need my body to chill the fuck out. I don't know. It's okay. I think it's kind of funny because literally the week before this, I was like, fuck being healthy. I'm done eating healthy. It's not working. Everything, all this stuff. whatever. I'm over it. I take care of my body, and like, it obviously isn't working. And then this happened. I was like, oh, well, okay. I kind of need to eat better.
Oh my gosh, Jenna, stop.
But I do have higher testosterone. I meet the right criteria because of, I forgot the exact name of it, but my ovary having more follicles because I have elevated testosterone and my periods are irregular. But that just means I have more testosterone so I can get more muscle.
The bright side. Jenna's always looking on the bright side.
I got more testosterone. I would be really curious though too. And then I'll shut up. But people with MS naturally have less estrogen.
Really? Is that a fact? Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Like, I would be curious if that has anything to do with it too. And just being on all these fucking treatments, but whatever.
That's so interesting. Actually, now I'm curious about my stuff because going through family planning and everything like that, I haven't been told that I have lower levels or anything.
Have they tested like your estrogen or testosterone or thing? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. But now I wonder, because you know how labs, there's a range.
Like the normal range.
Yeah. Like we're doing quotation marks for those listening. We're like a normal range. Bullshit. Because also like sometimes when I get my vitamin D tested, it'll be low, but it'll be normal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, girl, like that. You got to tell me that like my vitamin D is low right now.
I had one nurse that was like doing my ultrasound and she was like, yes, your vitamin D is technically normal, but it's on the low end and you should at least be like 20 whatever units higher. And I thought that was really nice because she was my first nurse and she was the most helpful ever about my MS. And I was like, oh, so sweet.
That's so nice.
Yeah,
but
the normal range.
Exactly. The normal range is complete BS. But thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And
I have my MRI and then she was like, get a follow-up appointment with me so we can go over everything. Guess when the soonest appointment she had was?
Oh my God, is it like August or July or something?
October 2nd. So I got this diagnosis and then we went over stuff in person, but still waiting for blood work. And then I have to get an MRI to see if I have another diagnosis and to figure out what the hell to do with the cyst. And I can't see her until October 2nd.
There's no way. There's no way.
Like, what am I supposed to do for the next 5 months?
That's actually insanity. But welcome to the U.S. healthcare system.
Yep. So, frick that. That's my chronic shit show. I'll take it over for both of us for the moment.
No, we could share it. But I'm so sorry that you're going through this. And I just hope that you know that you have my support and you have all of our support. And little by little, one step at a time. And we'll hold your hand for the next 5 months while you wait patiently for your appointment.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
That's crazy. That's a whole, I was going to say that's a whole tangent within itself.
I know. We could just like have a whole, I would love to like hear other people's experiences in other countries and just like boop a doop a doop.
Oh, yeah. I've heard from others all the time and it's just so different. I feel like the grass is always greener somewhere else, right? But like our grass over here be dying. Well, it's like pretty bad.
Some people don't get their MRI results back for like months because they still mail the results versus we get them same day. Well,
that's what I was gonna say. I was like, the grass is always greener somewhere else, but girl, our lawn is suffering. We are suffering over here, but
it's just a little yellow.
It's a little insane. So with that, we will get into our part 2 of the Q&A.
Yes.
Answering your questions that you have sent us. So the first question we got was tips to know if someone is a good friend / partner when you have MS, please.
Oh, I feel like I could move a boat with how much advice I could say.
Jenna's like, I got some things to say on that one. Take it. Go ahead.
At the end of the day, the biggest thing I've noticed is people that show up and care and want to be there for you. I have lost many friends because of my health, and I was with someone who was just
gross.
Yeah, I'll say not nice about my diagnosis. I have other choice words, but we'll save that.
That was a really nice way of putting
it. Yeah. Now at the end of the day, it was hard when all that happened, but I'm so grateful for it because I have amazing people that are there for me. I have my current boyfriend who is honestly the most amazing person. Literally, I went from someone not even asking me how I was doing after an infusion, not telling me good luck, didn't even ask about it till 2 days later when I said something, to someone who went with me and who has shown up, like brings me food, sits with me. He's going to take me to my MRI. It's very hard to think, oh, I can have that when you're with the negative or have negative friends or X, Y, and Z who aren't supportive, but there is better, and you have to let go of people to make more room for the good.
Absolutely. And I think also like a good way to gauge if a friend or a partner is really showing up for you and like supportive is that mutual give and take, right? Of like, are they pouring into your cup as much as you're pouring into them type of thing? And it really comes down to small gestures. It's not always some big, gigantic thing. It's just a check in like, hey, how are you? Or, hey, I'm thinking about you. Like, you know, or, hey, I'm researching your diagnosis and this is what I found. Or, what can I do? Like, I know, like, my husband just texted me. He's like, hey, I know you're not feeling well, but our friends want to go to dinner. How are you feeling about that? That is so supportive. Like, that is just damn, that's a good ass partner right
and, like,
there.
Recognizing, hey, could we just sit on the couch today and talk instead of going out and do something? Or like, hey, are you feeling up for this? Or not being mad when you need to reschedule, or willing to listen to you and support you. Yes, they may not know the right thing to say, but at least they're willing to listen and hear and try to give you what you need. They may not get it right, but that doesn't mean that they aren't trying versus someone that's literally not trying.
Right. And I think too, like Jenna was saying, losing friendships over chronic illness and stuff, sometimes it'll naturally happen. But I think a way to go about your relationships in your own life, especially after a diagnosis, when your perspective changes, when your not perspective, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Your priorities, when they change, it's not saying that like, okay, now everyone has to change for me and everyone needs to care about me. Like, that's not the point. The point is just this mutual give and take that happens in a friendship or relationship. It's just one of those things where if you are feeling like you're constantly the one reaching out, constantly trying to check in, constantly like putting more energy into a one-sided relationship, maybe draw back. Maybe like pull back and just be like, you know what? I need to focus on myself and I need to just focus on people who are mutually reaching out to me. I always say people are in my life for a season and a reason. That doesn't mean that they're going to stay in my life forever. I mean, I would hope so, but if not, that's okay too. I'm going to take the good. I'm going to let go of the bad and just keep moving on. Because honestly, letting go of people who aren't good for you or don't make you feel good or aren't supporting you in the way after you've tried to communicate with them, letting go of those people really does make room for the right types of people to find you. And it does tell the universe like, okay, I'm ready for better friendships, better relationships, whatever it may be. And I stand on that.
And it's okay if your friendships that you once had, like you guys are drifting apart or you guys are going to different stages of life, things just fluctuate. That's kind of like what Ashleigh said of like everyone comes in for a reason or a season, and some people may stay, some people may not. But I would say if you're with a friend and you leave feeling more stressed or like that was one thing for me. It's like I would have more MS symptoms because I'd be more stressed, I'd be more tired, I've had more tingling because my body's on fight or flight and activating my MS symptoms, where it's like that was not a healthy relationship. That was not a good friendship, where it's like, I will say my MS symptoms in some ways are so much better not being in the relationship I was and not being with some of the friendships because I was on high alert the whole time.
Yeah. Well, it's that nervous system. It's that fight or flight, right? And if your nervous system can't relax around certain people, hello, that's like your body signaling not safe, not safe, not safe. Get me away from this person. Sometimes it's a really hard decision. I feel like I give people the benefit of the doubt over and over and over and over again. And I always end up learning the harshest way.
You have to like be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, and it sounds really hard, like back what you were saying about like the stop reaching out kind of thing. And it's like, it's not selfish to take time to focus on yourself as a people pleaser. It's like, yeah, I feel really selfish to like step back, but I needed to take that time for me. Or like, I went through a really traumatic experience 10 months ago and like I stopped reaching out to people, but there are friends that I've never talked to again since that have never reached out.
No, because literally if you stop reaching, like think about it. If I were to stop reaching out to people and I never hear from them again, I was pouring into a cup with a hole in it. Like there was nothing there and I just kept pouring and pouring. So, I mean, it's a rude awakening and it sucks to have that realization and it sucks to feel that. Like that's just so shitty on so many different levels. But it is a wake up call of like, okay, I can now reserve my energy for people
who
yourself. Show up. Exactly. Or myself.
Like, important to
Period.
yourself are people that show up. It's hard, but it's like when you're in the thick of it, it sucks. It fucking sucks. And I feel like that goes with our next question. But once you're on the other side, it gets better. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be giving energy to people who aren't going to give it back. And if you aren't getting it from that person anyways, give it to yourself.
Yeah.
You'll find people then that will attract that and want to give it to you.
Exactly. And it does go perfectly with the next question. This person asked us, how do you handle friendships where people disappear on you but still watch everything you do? It's lonely for real. Yeah. Hi, haters. I can completely resonate with this one because I do have quote unquote friends who watch every single story, who probably like see every single post and all that kind of stuff, but never like engage, nothing. And those people just aren't my people. And that's okay. And it goes back to like, I stopped reaching out, which I did. I stopped reaching out to certain friends, if you will, and I haven't heard from them. And I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, I can recognize that we had a good time and that they're just not my people anymore. And that's okay. And it sucks. Like you said, in the thick of it, I'm just kind of like, damn. And like some part of me will always want to say something, right? And be like, you know what? This is really shitty. But I've also gotten to a space where if that's how it is, that's how it is. And I have to reserve my energy and my nervous system needs to be calm. Okay. I am trying to family plan, and that means not being stressed out and not putting myself in positions where I'm engaging with people who make me feel on edge or just not good. I can recognize that like this particular friendship was never a really good one. Like it kind of always, like you mentioned, it left me feeling drained and it left me feeling judged, and it just was never good. And while there was support there for a time, especially after I was diagnosed, it just never felt genuine.
A friendship shouldn't be feeling like there's competition or judge or trying to one up each other or X, Y, and Z. It should be
or like backhanded.
Yes, it should be genuine support, loving the other person, being proud of them, being happy for them when they achieve something that maybe you want, but like recognizing they've worked really hard for it. I think it really goes to like how you are treated and show up for other people.
Exactly.
And I think also it's like if people are watching, my take, can I be honest? Or does that mean?
Be honest, girl. Hello, why are we here? Why are we here?
I was going to say, girl? I just think those people are very petty and immature as frick, because it's like either you could grow up and mature and have an adult conversation about something, or you can be immature and be passive and watch from sidelines or gossip or do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, no, you can be an adult. And also, I do want to say, for all this, for any friendships, having disagreements is part of having a healthy, normal relationship.
Absolutely.
It will happen in any friendship. There will be arguments or times you're annoyed with them. It's how you respond and come back into it and work together.
This will shock everyone. But Jenna and I have had some disagreements.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like aside from just being opposite sometimes, but there are times, especially with working on this podcast, we had disagreements, and that's okay. We worked through it. We communicated.
But it's how we communicate and talked about it and came back from it versus holding a grudge and just being immature. I don't need to be on constant eggshells around people where it's like, if you're going to be immature and not talk to me or communicate about something that's upsetting you, or just watch from afar and be really petty, it's like, okay, fine, I don't need that in my life. Like, it sucks. It does suck when you're going through the thick of it, but you will be better off.
Yeah. And it's just recognizing your own power and giving yourself that oomph, because genuinely, for all those with chronic illness who have dealt with friendships of people disappearing but still watching but just not supporting, you are worth so much more. You are worth people reaching out. You are worth genuine friendship, reciprocal friendships. And anybody who's not stepping up to that, if you feel called to communicate it and say, hey, listen, this really hurt me, how they respond, again, knowing that that's on them, you can do that. But if it also just naturally fades out, that's okay.
Speaking up about it and saying how you were hurt also shows the kind of response, and if they can be mature enough to handle it. And if they can't, it's like, okay, I don't need someone who can't like recognize that they're hurting me.
Yeah, exactly. It's just using your own discernment in terms of these friendships, especially ones who have disappeared. If it's bothering you like to a core level, something that's always helped me, and I swear, like, I cannot get over how helpful this exercise is, this method. Writing the text, writing the letter, writing whatever it is, like just saying everything you want to say to them, as nasty, as mean, as whatever, as raw, as real as you want to get, and then not sending it. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. It helps me every time because then I can naturally close that chapter. I'm just like, okay.
And I also feel like, to add on to that, like if you do that and it's still bothering you, you can talk to them nicely. And it's like, at least you said your piece, and however they respond, that's on them. If they're being mean, you can close the door and that's not your responsibility. Like, you said what you needed to move on.
Yeah. And it's just getting honest with yourself of like what that might look like. Do you want to say something to this person, or do you want to just let it fade and let it be? Also, there's a block button for a reason, besties. Like if you come to this, I'm just saying, if you come to that moment where you're just like, okay, I've done this, I've done that, I don't want to say anything, or whatever it may be, and you're tired of seeing them and it's taking your energy away from your healing.
On Instagram, any social media, block.
Jenna's a trigger happy with the blocks. But if you just feel like this is pulling your energy every single time you see them pop up after watching your stories or whatever it may be, block them, mute them. Do something about
like
it.
A breakup, though. Like a friendship is like a breakup, and it is like kind of, you have to grieve, you have to go through the healing process, you have to acknowledge those emotions. It's not to say that they won't come up. There's sometimes where it's like, something happened, it will bother me, or like it's just like, yeah, that sucks and I wish it ended differently, but I'm still grateful. Like I have a few friendships where it's like, it sucks, but I wouldn't have been in running, I wouldn't have ran a marathon because of them, I wouldn't have the partner I have because of them. Where I can forgive, but that doesn't mean that they still get access to me.
Exactly. It's about calling your energy back and severing that tie, that connection that you might have with them, of just, they don't have access. And that's the thing too, is like, personally speaking, the people who watch all of my stuff, who we're not really friends anymore, this is so Scorpio coded of me, but I love it. Watch me succeed. Watch me launch this. Watch me be happy in a loving relationship. Watch me do all the things, and you can sit in your envy. It doesn't bother me, girlfriend. I wish you the best. I hope you eat, just not at my table. And I am a little Scorpio fiery energy, even though it's a water sign, but I just have that, like, I don't care. You can watch me. But it's really about, again, calling back my energy and being like, I'm okay with them seeing all this stuff, because at the end of the day, it's not going to bother me, which, like Jenna says, sometimes it does. But also, little by little, time, that growth does help.
It gets better. I mean, Ashleigh, like, has seen me be in horrible friendships and
you've seen a horrible
relationship, and it's like,
not the relationship, just a friendship.
Luigi's always been an angel.
Yeah, Luigi's an angel.
But like, I used to look at people and I would think, I can never have a friend like that, I can never have a relationship like that. But it's like, because I was surrounded by this bubble of negative, and once I got out, I have that now. So like, hold on to that hope, don't give up. You will get through it. It sucks, but it does get better, and you just learn to surround yourself with better people, and the better you feel about yourself, the better people you attract. And I also think, like, you see everyone have these whole friend groups, but don't knock having 2 or 3 really good friends.
Exactly. I would take that. I would take like 2 or 3 friends over
a
20.
Friend group.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have one last thing to say, and then we can.
Yeah,
I need to ask you the next question, because of that. I'm not married, but I will say also, recognize whether things are being more like projected or directed at you, and recognize, like, someone may say something, but it could really be a projection and it's not about you. And if you can learn how to I can't speak right
differentiate.
Now. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Because that does help you not take it in with so much weight of like, oh, that really wasn't about me, and it's coming from them, and I can kind of put that wall up to like bounce it back towards them.
That's actually a really good point, because I will say, in general, there are some that are absolutely worth fighting for, right? Like some who like silently disappear, let it be. But there are relationships that you don't want to just let go of. And that is such a good point, because that's how I've moved forward with some of my personal relationships. Same. Is I've just been able to recognize, you know what, that's not about me. That reaction, not about me. And like you were saying, like, I'm able to separate the two and just be like, you know what, it's not about me, and move on and just kind of let it roll off my back. But again, that's that discernment that we all have individually of, is this relationship worth fighting for, or is this a relationship that I can let go of for my own mental well-being?
Yeah, I do think that has been the biggest help for me with some things, and being able to keep relationships going, especially in things that have happened in my family or X, Y, and Z. And also to recognize that things ebb and flow. As adults, it's normal to drift apart. We're all busy. And it's like, if you haven't talked to someone for a while, maybe reach out. You know, like I have friends where we can go 6 months without talking, and it's like, hey, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I don't wish them bad, but it's like, I still want to see them succeed. And so I don't know, long story short, there's a lot of things there, but it really comes down to what you want, how you want to be treated, and
getting
what
honest with yourself.
Yeah.
I do feel though too, that's a really great point. And then I promise we will move on to the next question, but that's a really great point too, is, oh shit, I lost my train of thought.
Fuck. Was it about like people talking to them?
Oh yeah, hold on. I found it. Your girl found it. If you feel called to reach out to someone, just do it. Put your pride aside. Life is too short. There's so much shit going on. This world is dark enough. If I feel called, even though I haven't heard from somebody in a long time, if I feel called to say like, hey, I miss you, I will say that. There is no amount of pride in my, like, personally speaking, in my life, especially after everything I've gone through, after everything I've witnessed my husband go through. There's just nothing that if you love somebody and you care about them and you miss them, say it. Right.
Well, and like feel good to like have someone you haven't talked to in a while be like, oh, hey, I hope you're doing well. And I'm just thinking about you.
Yeah.
Like that is so nice.
But it's all that discernment of, is that worth it to you? Do you want to do that? And all that kind of stuff. So
friendships are hard. And obviously we've been talking about it for a bit. I guess let us know if you ever want us to do like an episode specifically more on friendship, because I don't think we've done that. But
I don't think we have.
I think friendships are hard to navigate, and especially they're just another relationship.
Exactly.
Okay, I need to ask you this question.
Okay.
Because I'm not married, but how do you balance your marriage and energy, especially in the bedroom? How do you keep it spicy with limited spoons?
Keep it spicy. Spicy spice. I wish Luigi was here to help me answer this, because
I would love to have Luigi's answer.
I was like, I feel like it's a dual.
I'm sorry,
like,
but like his repost, I'm like, he would have some good answers.
Yeah. He's so cute. I would say, genuinely speaking, when it comes to a balance of marriage with limited spoons and keeping it spicy in the bedroom, so sorry to my parents listening. You can fast forward this part. But keeping it spicy in the bedroom is just, I think there's, okay, before I get into too much, I will just say this because I think it's important. Intimacy is an umbrella. It is not just sexual. There's so much power in like a back rub, just a back rub, nothing more, just a back rub.
Holding hands.
Making
dinner together.
Filling up my water bottle. Like tiny little moments like that add up, and that builds that intimacy. It's so important choosing the right person. It really is. And I will always put that out there. I didn't marry a fucking loser, and I'm so grateful for that because it makes a difference.
Have you seen those things of like, how does your boyfriend whatever, and it's like, well, I didn't marry a fucking loser. I'm not dating a fucking loser who can't handle my chronic illness.
No, literally. But I posted that. I did the hallelujah trend, and I was like, didn't marry a fucking loser. Hallelujah. Genuinely, I didn't just marry him for me. I married him for our future children. I picked a fucking gem. I will put that out there. He's a gem. I love him.
If they wouldn't treat your daughter or son the way they treat you, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. But it is just those tiny, intimate moments, and putting more weight on them, especially when you live with chronic illness and you are balancing your spoons. And, you know, like last night I got so sick, and at no point was he like not there for me. He literally, it was so cute because I was in the bedroom and all the lights were off. And when he came in with his iPhone flashlight on, but like pointed down. Aww. And then he went into the bathroom with the iPhone, closed the door, and then turned the bathroom light on so he could go take a shower. Like it's a tiny little things that really add up. Talking and communicating with your partner and setting it out there of like, listen, this is what's going on. Especially, you know, we honestly, I think we do need to put that into season 2, talking about relationships, because I think that there's so much more to it. But to keep it short and kind of more centered, maybe hear from a little hubsfluencer himself. But to answer this question, especially keeping it spicy with limited spoons, I would say just don't be afraid of toys. I think that's helpful. Don't be afraid of toys. So that's the thing too, though, is when you are engaging in spicy time, it doesn't always have to lead to sex either. It can just be a little spice, and keep it spontaneous, right? Keep it like, ooh, that's how you keep it spicy.
It's not an appointment. It's not a
yes.
You're scheduling an encounter thing. No, it's like at the end of the day, communicate, make sure you have good boundaries.
Yeah.
And if you're not feeling it, make sure it's respected, because I've been in a relationship where it was, I don't give a fuck that you're not tired. I want my needs met kind of thing. And it's like, you want to be with a partner that respects you. You want to be feeling safe and okay. I think the biggest thing is communication.
Yeah, absolutely. Communication. And like you said, it's not a schedule. Like, don't schedule it.
The biggest thing is to make sure you are enjoying each other.
Yeah, exactly. And just keeping it, like we were saying from the very beginning, that intimacy of holding hands, of the little moments, and being honest with each other. If you're not feeling it, having that respected. Again, just that spontaneity is really important, I think. And it also, like, I feel like when it comes to spoons, keeping it playful. And I think that's really important in a relationship too. It's not to be so much of an adult and get taken by the adult world where everything's just very like, you know, like stiff, like just keeping it playful.
Yeah. And I feel like it's like, oh, if you're not feeling like all the way, nothing's wrong with just being intimate and laying next to each other and cuddling and watching a movie.
Exactly.
And recognizing, hey, I would like to do this, but I'm just really tired and I still want to have this intimacy with you in some capacity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just another thing we have to adapt, and having a partner willing to adapt with you is the biggest thing.
And being, again, honest and communicative with your partner. That's really it. So I hope that answered your question of keeping it spicy with limited spoons. The next question is, how has speaking on your podcast helped your healing process?
Oh, it's helped a lot.
I genuinely didn't know I needed this until we did it. And I feel like there was a calling, like a knowing of like, we knew, because we had spoken about this for, I mean, a year and a half or so before, like almost 2-ish years.
Yeah, the end of 2024, right?
Right. So, I mean, this has been a long time coming. So we've always felt the pull for a podcast, but I just don't think I realized how badly I needed it until we launched it and started recording. It's been so healing, and a lot of times addressing the traumas around situations and telling our stories.
The truth.
Yeah, our truth, and sharing our perspective and hearing from other people who can relate to it, and hearing, you know, people are finding our show a comfort to listen to. Like, that just punches me right in the feels. Like, it is beyond healing. And so that's, yeah, it's helped so much.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really helped, especially with my MS diagnosis, just the process of it all, just like, I don't know the right word to say it. I think in some ways I have always felt that like my MS has brought good into my life.
Yeah.
That's not to say I have days where I fucking hate it. I do think like it's like running a marathon. It's helped me grow as a person, and I think like this, in a very unexpected good way, allowed me to heal even more and process things at a deeper level I never thought, and being able to connect with other people who are like, oh, like that's helpful, or X, Y, and Z, and just even talking for us.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much I needed to talk about these things that I never have talked about before. And I knew going into this, I just want to be able to help one person. If my story,
that one person is
anything
us.
We talk to,
it's ourselves.
It's to help one person feel less alone. Like, it did it, but like it also made me feel that way too about it. Yeah. And I just think it's even more empowering. Like, hey, I have this thing and I can do good with it.
It is one of those things that like we have been collectively through some traumatic shit. Like we
chronic illness and not chronic illness related.
Yes, exactly. And I think having a safe space to talk about it, and it's helped us process it in a way that I don't think, because I mean, we both have therapists, but I think this is like a different level that again, I didn't know I needed or could process it at. So it's been very helpful, and I'm excited to see where it goes and who sponsors us. Just putting that out there.
So our next question is, what parts of yourself changed after diagnosis, for better or worse? Which I feel like kind of goes into what we're talking about a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like definitely we have an episode talking more in depth on how diagnosis changes you. I think a better way to answer this would be like the parts that didn't change after diagnosis. I think that would be less cumbersome than talking about all the things that have changed, because I definitely just don't feel like I am the same person that I was before diagnosis, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's something that we've been very open about, is that MS diagnosis, Graves, like all the things that I have brought in good things to my life too. Like, does it suck? Absolutely. We're not going to sit here and be like, we're just so happy to, no, it sucks. But also, we wouldn't be where we are today. We wouldn't have a fucking podcast if we weren't diagnosed. So there are beautiful things. And I think shifting your perspective to focus on the glimmers versus the triggers can just change so much about your mindset in terms of diagnosis in your life and what's going on. And I do feel like, again, you're never going to find me being the person that's like, just think positively and be happier and rainbows and butterflies. But I am going to be the person that will say that the power of your mindset is revolutionary. It can really make or break you.
Gratitude makes a difference, and being grateful.
Gratitude is the attitude.
But it's like being reasonable and recognizing things and coexist at the same time. Like, don't be toxic positivity and only be like blah blah blah. Like, if you're crying and being like, I'm grateful, it's like no, stop. Like,
just be honest.
Allow yourself to feel your feelings, but also recognize the gratitude, which I feel like for me, it had helped me do that more. Like, I think back of who I was a year ago, and I'm not the same person.
Yeah.
Let alone when I was first diagnosed, and even with everything with the PCOS, and it sucks, and I'm going through the thick of it. And I mean, I was crying about it last night. Like, it's
a process.
It's a process, and this will only cause me to better myself, kind of thing. I was thinking about it on my walk this morning. Like, this is my time to really learn myself better, take care of myself even better, learn what foods work better for me. And I probably wouldn't have done that with this diagnosis, especially considering last week I was like, fuck being healthy. Oh my God. But it's like, I don't know. There's parts of you that change, and I don't think it's bad. I don't think change is a bad thing. I think what's scarier is if I was the same person I was when I was diagnosed. If I didn't change at all, because it means you're not growing.
Exactly. That's a really good way to put it.
So it's like, yes, many parts of me changed. I feel like I changed as a whole. It's hard to say what exactly, but I am a completely different person, and I would be scared of who I was if I didn't have MS.
That's a good way to put it. And I think that leads into the next question of, how has prayer, faith, spirituality, or personal belief systems helped you navigate health and life challenges? Well, I was going to
say that's a loaded question.
I know who asked this question, and they have asked this question so many times. So I'm happy to finally be answering it, because I feel like, because it's such a loaded question, it's hard to like say
That's
it.
Another reason I like having a podcast and feel like it's healing, because we have more space to talk.
Exactly. And just yap. But I have always been very honest about my faith and my spirituality, and being very rooted in that. I've actually been a guest on podcasts before talking about that, because with MS, I dove deeper into my faith. I do feel like it strengthened me in a way that I didn't think was possible. Like, I always had a faith. I was raised Catholic and very faith-based, but being diagnosed, I was so angry. And even with the challenges that I have gone through in life, financial, trying to conceive, different diagnoses. Like, when I got diagnosed with Graves, I was so angry, because I was just like, why can't it just be nothing? When my husband was in the hospital for thyroid cancer, for the platelets issue that he had, I was just so angry. And so there are ebbs and flows with my faith too. Now, is it ever like, I'm like, I don't have a faith? No, I just get angry with God. But then that allows me to be honest with him. And to just
it's a
be
relationship
like, why?
with God, and any relationship you're going to have anger. So it's like, I don't know, it drives me crazy. So that's tangent. People are like, well, don't get angry at God. But it's like, no, he wants all your emotions.
Yeah, exactly. This is one of my favorite things. I'm going to just paraphrase this. But one of my favorite things is when people are like, well, would God really allow that? But a relationship with God is not a perfect life. It is not easy going, perfect. You get everything you want. You have financial abundance. You have all the kids. It's not that. A relationship with God is knowing that there's going to be light and there's going to be dark, and trying to navigate and balance through that. And I'm getting emotional, because it is truly one of those things that I am allowed to be angry with him. I'm allowed to feel those feelings and be like, why? Why is this not working for us? Why are we struggling? Why is blah, 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 blah? Why? And of course, he's not going to answer in the traditional way of talking back to me, but there are signs from him. There are little moments. And when you have that faith to lean on, it takes some pressure off of you having to navigate it completely alone. And I think it's just a beautiful thing of surrender. And I mean, we've talked about that before. What the fuck does that mean? What are we surrendering to? But it's just knowing that there is a greater power at work, that you can do all the things humanly possible to help yourself. But at the end of the day, there's something that you can lean on, you can call out to, you can pray that he knows your deepest desires, your heart. And it's a beautiful thing. So I do feel like I have a deeper relationship based off of all the traumas that I have gone through. Like you said, he just wants all of our emotions. He wants a relationship with us, and our relationship at our peers form. We're human. We're going to feel all the ranges of all the emotions like Jesus did. Jesus is human too. And it's just one of those things that I think in the darkest times of our lives, whatever it may be, having something to fall back on and having that relationship really helped me get through it.
Yeah, and I agree. I would say that my MS diagnosis caused me to discover my faith. Funny story. We grew up going to church until Bucky Badger, the Wisconsin football mascot, showed up. I refused to go back. I was terrified of mascots. I was like such an anxious child that I just sat in service with my mom. So like I didn't really know much. I didn't go to Sunday school. I was too scared until Bucky Badger was behind me, and I never came back to church because I was scared of mascots, and I flew under the pew and was hiding. And my mom was like, Bucky isn't here, get up. And we turned around and the whole UW marching band was at church with the mascot.
Gosh.
So after that, we never really went to church. But when I got diagnosed, I was kind of curious. Like every once in a while, I'd go with my grandma, or like holidays, we'd be like the holiday people.
The holiday people, the people who just show up for Easter and Christmas. Yeah.
But I have an interesting relationship. I would say I believe in God.
Mm-hmm.
I do not necessarily align with the concept of religion. And at the end of the day,
organized religion.
Yes, absolutely. At the end of the day, it's between me and God and my relationship. I've had people tell me I have MS because I'm full of sin.
Mm-hmm.
I've had complicated things where I just don't necessarily align with that. And I think everyone's allowed to believe and have faith in their own terms, whether it's a higher power, whether it's God, it's their own religion based off of their culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about how it helps you. And so like I do believe in God. And I think for specifically chronic illness, I read the book of Job. Yes. And that left me in tears, and it made me be like, oh, this wasn't a punishment.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, it's because God knew that no matter what, I will still believe in him, that I will show up. And it's like, there are times where I have gone to my connection group at church and I will literally be crying, and I'm like, I don't understand. I feel like God hates me. It's thing after thing after thing. It's my health. There's other things going on. I see everyone get all these blessings, and it's just, when is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to take away, but at the end of the day, no matter what, like I do believe in God, and I think my health got me there. There are times like when I lost a loved one to suicide, I was like, what the fuck? Like, this makes no sense, God. There are times where I struggle, but at the end of the day, I believe, and like it is really that surrender, knowing I'm not alone in this, and I will get through it. And I think for me, it's also one thing where it helps, where I can look back and it's like, oh, I knew what God was doing. God that brought that person into my life, even though it ended horribly. It's like, I would have not run a marathon with them. And like, I don't know. I think it's just finding meaning. It gave me a lot of meaning for my MS. And I do think there's people out there in the world who don't need to make meaning. But like for me, it's like, it gets me through it. And it's helpful for me. And that's what matters. I think one thing that really changed for me was I used to believe everything happened for a reason, and I could see it. And that's just how I coped. It was a coping mechanism. Yeah. But I realized after a loved one's suicide, like, not everything has to happen for a reason. God doesn't make everything happen. And it's not everything happens for a reason, but it's the meaning you make out of it.
Yeah, it's what you find to help you get through it.
Yeah.
I think something that you said was really important, and I want to talk about it a little bit more, was organized religion. And I being raised Catholic, and I still enjoy Catholic Church. I think it's like a little ritual. How they don't see that it's like a little ritual, I don't know, because like there's literally blood in it, like a little cup. You're supposed to drink it. I don't know. Anyways, I still enjoy the ritualistic aspects of it. However, I always feel closest to God in nature. In like when we were in Arizona and we were hiking and we were high at like 7,000 elevation, and just like that is when I felt closest to my faith and closest to my God, and just knowing that there's just like this beauty in that surrender. I find more connection in, again, being by the ocean, being in the sand, being in nature versus the pews at church. And everyone's journey with that is going to be unique to themselves. Everyone's journey with church is different, right? And everyone's relationship with God is different. And I think it's really important to define that for yourself. What does it look like for you, individual, and building your own faith and your own spirituality based off of how you feel and what you feel most connected to. Maybe it's church. Maybe it's reading your Bible. Maybe it's doing a Bible group. Maybe it's going out and being in nature. Maybe it's your morning walks. Whatever it looks like for you, defining that is what's important. Not letting organized religion or structure define you and keep you in a box, because I don't think that that's the meaning of spirituality or faith, is like being boxed into that. But again, everyone's so individual, and we respect all religions here and all beliefs here.
I know some people probably beat me up for my beliefs, but
well, okay, but that's not very Jesus like, is it?
No,
like, is it?
Because it's like I don't necessarily align with the religion organization aspect beliefs.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because at the end of the day, it's my relationship with God.
Exactly.
He knows how I feel. It's my heart at the end of the day. And like there's things that I disagree with that I don't think God would like that the church does. And it's
period.
We're supposed to love others, treat others with respect. And that's what I do.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
That's my thing.
Absolutely. It is one of those things that like just defining that for yourself is really important, because I don't agree with everything that I guess, quote unquote, I'm supposed to. But
and I get really scared to talk about it for that reason. Absolutely. Like I don't like to talk about my faith because of that. At the end of the day, I'm like, it's my thing. But
yeah, it's very individualized, and it's intimate, right? It's intimate between you and your religion, your faith, what you believe, and how that gets you through it. So absolutely, it's a person to person individualized thing.
Yeah.
So
this next question.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, this next question is like super not heavy.
This next question is for Ashleigh, and you'll know why. It says, your outfits are so cute. How do you plan them for treatment? I usually look like a troll, LOL. I didn't ask this, but it's like if I asked it, that's literally what I would say, because I show up in sweatpants and sweatshirts.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I genuinely, here's a tip. I just buy cute clothes that are super fucking comfortable. That is my tip, okay? I do feel like, so, okay, this is like a family generational thing that's passed down. So my great-grandmother on my mom's side would always be like, dress better than you feel. And so my grandmother, my mother, and then of course to me, dress better than you feel type of thing. And this is like a double-edged sword though, because when I would go to my specialist appointments and I'm like trying to, yeah, exactly. I would get that so often. And it's just because I'm trying to look better than I fucking feel. And I'm trying to trick my body into keeping up with the fucking program. That's what I'm trying to do.
Haven't they heard fake it till you make it?
Yeah, exactly. Fake it till you make it. Exactly. But I will say, in terms of treatments, I have worn leggings and sweatshirts. I have worn dresses. But again, dresses are so easy because you just like pull them up to go to the bathroom. They're flowy. I will always love a good dress. And really, it's just wearing things that I feel confident in has helped me, again, get into that mental headspace to go through treatment. And so there's really nothing. I don't believe anybody looks like a troll going to their treatments. I don't subscribe to that. I think wearing whatever you feel confident in and comfortable in is the key to looking cute. Okay, because you're all looking cute no matter what you're wearing, and you're getting your treatment done. But as long as you feel cute, that's all that matters. Okay, that's my 2 cents on it. Jenna's like, I'm a troll.
I was just shopping for new clothes for internship, and I think what happened is I wear clothes 3 to 4 times size bigger than I need. Like I wear XL sweatshirts. I wear double XL sweatshirts.
They're so
t-shirts,
comfortable. So
X, Y, and Z, because it's so comfortable. And I think the problem is I develop MS hug. And I feel claustrophobic as hell when I'm in a medium or my size t-shirt. Like, I was trying on these clothes because it's like I need professional clothes. And like, granted, I haven't had a job where I need to leave my house and wear professional clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I work from home, so I live in sweatshirts and sweatpants, where it's like, I've noticed though the sizes I buy keep increasing because either the clothes sizes are just getting smaller. Except I did buy a shirt the other day that was like a 3XXL, and I was like, this looks like a large. I was like, that is not accurate sizing.
No.
But I feel claustrophobic and feel tight, and it feels like it gives me the MS hug. So
no, that's so fair. I also feel like every store has different size clothing.
Sizing.
Like it's so true. And I know Abercrombie and Fitch's clothing like the back of my hand. Fun fact, that was my first job ever. I worked at Abercrombie.
Oh, really?
Yes. Actually, Luigi and I worked together at Abercrombie when in high school. But Abercrombie sizing, I feel like they know what they're doing with sizing. Like, they're accurate. Free People sizing makes me feel so nice because I'm usually like a smaller medium. And I'm like, wow, this is great. But they're oversized. Like, all Free People stuff is always oversized, which I love. And a lot of my stuff, fun fact, a lot of outfits that you see are all Free People. Like the dress that I just wore to my treatment, Free People. The lace top underneath was a Free People dupe from Amazon. Love it. Free People stuff is so comfortable to me. Do I love the price tag? No.
I was going to say, I can't afford them.
No, but I get a lot of secondhand. So like the dress I'm wearing
fair.
right now was $50 from Poshmark. Bargains. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say though, like the sizing, every store was different. Some I was a small, some I was a large in. And I was like,
yeah, it's really it's a mind fuck.
Yeah.
And so I stick with the stores that I know and that I feel comfortable in. But there's nothing wrong with getting comfortable clothing, whatever that may look like for you.
I have to say, for me, the infusion wise specifically, I love the Ivy hoodie because I love a hoodie that makes me comfortable. My arms get cold, so being able to, I don't know if people have seen them, but I live in the hoodies that like zip at the arms for infusions because it's like, it's so nice just to be able to take your arm out, they put it in, and then you put your arm back in and you zip it up and your arm is not cold. I get very sensitive to the IV being so much colder, where it's like nice that it's not touching my skin. So I live in those, and that's just, it's okay. That's just me. That's what makes me feel best. At the end of the day, what matters is feeling your best.
Exactly. And whatever you feel confident in and ready to get treatment in, that's all that matters. So the next question that we got was, someone wants to know what the funniest or most chaotic infusion / treatment story we've got. So
everyone?
What?
I said everyone?
Yeah, every single story ever. We don't have time. We don't have time to get into it, bestie. Okay, I'll share. I was gonna say, I was like, honestly, I had the most traumatic, not chaotic.
I think we should save that for its own episode.
Yeah, I think so, because it is. I didn't even unpack it in my diagnosis episode because it is traumatizing. Okay, but aside from that, I'll do a funny one that's kind of slightly chaotic. This was for my last infusion that I just did a few weeks ago, and this nurse, he was great. He immediately went to go get the IV finder, and I was like, cool, like, sure.
Oh, I hate those. I pass out.
It was a tiny one. It wasn't big, because the Cancer Institute that I used to go to, they have this gigantic arm type thing. No, this one was like a tiny little thing that I held it on my own arm for him. So I don't know what that was. Yeah, it was like a tiny thing.
A lamp that they light, and it lights up your.
This one was like really tiny. So I'm holding it, and he like pokes, and I'm like, okay. And then in the poke, trigger warning, he starts digging, and I'm like, right. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. So he gets in. Cool. He pulls it out. So obviously he takes the needle out so that the catheter is in there. He goes to flush with fluid, and he goes, oh. And I'm like, what? And this boy does not answer me. And I say it again. I repeat. I'm like, what? And he goes, I'm like, what's happening? Is everything okay? He's like, no, I don't think we're in anymore. And I was like, that's what he said. But I didn't say that. And I just was like, okay. And he pulls it out, and he's like, yeah, see. And I look down, and there is a giant bump under my skin. He goes, see, feel that. And so for some fucking reason, I just followed orders like a good little soldier, and I felt it, and my face literally fell. I was like, oh, like, am I gonna pass out? Like, what happened? And I just was like, he's like, yeah, it's just filling under the skin instead. I was like, yeah, let's go to the other arm. Like, let's just not. And he's like, yeah. So, I mean, there was like a lump under my skin, and that has never happened to me ever. I've had veins blow, which that is so painful to anyone who's experienced that.
I hate those. My
So
favorite's when they're like, oops.
Yeah, they're like, oh. I'm like,
your vein moved. Oh no, it's not my fault. You just hit the wrong vein. Sorry.
Yeah. And so for this one, I didn't know that there was gonna, like, it was kind of painful. It wasn't as painful as blowing a vein, but it was kind of painful. So he kind of like just wraps it up. I'm like, cool, whatever. And so we go to the other arm. Thankfully, he gets it. I still have like a little bruise from both spots, because where he wasn't in the vein bruised really badly, and then I have the little tiny bruise over here. But either way, that was a little chaotic, because it was the what do you mean, huh? I'm like, hello, are we good? I could laugh about it now, but in the moment, I was literally like, this is terrible. So that is a little funny, chaotic. If you have ever had a vein blow, or they have not actually been in your vein and filled it with fluid, you are not alone, girlfriend. Sucks.
That's just disgusting.
But everyone's human, and so I don't blame him. You would have. Yeah, you would have.
I would say I feel like most of my infusions have been a little bit chaotic, because I tend to get lightheaded or pass out. And I react, so they have to stop. The last one I had, it did take an hour and a half to get the drug, because I don't know what happened. So I just sat there for an extra hour and a half waiting for them to bring me the drug. But I would probably say the worst one, nurse was so mean. She literally was, from the beginning, she's like, I don't want to be here. And then I started to react.
No, she like actually said that, guys. Like, no, I don't think that was clear. Like, she actually said, I don't want to be here.
First appointment in the day, she walks in the room and goes, I don't want to be here. And I'm like, yeah, me neither. Like, I don't want to be here.
None of us do.
I had Ocrevus, and I kept reacting, and she was mad because I had to pause it and I had to take longer. I almost passed out at the beginning when they were doing my blood, because she was stabbing me. She couldn't get my blood. She did it 3 times before she called a phlebotomist. And then she proceeded to tell me that I was being so difficult because I was lightheaded and passing out. There's more and more that I can say about that one. So I would say that one was probably my most chaotic one. And I think that's also why I'm happy to not have to go back. My anxiety about having MS has gone down a lot, because I'm like, I don't have to go back for my next infusion in 2 months.
Aww. Wow.
Kind of
and
nice.
That's making the right decision for yourself.
Yeah.
For real. I love that. Well, thank you for sharing that.
If you have chaotic infusions or things, you're not alone. You're allowed to be there. You're allowed to not want to be there. And if you're passing out, you're not difficult.
Yeah. Literally. Honestly, I feel like we should each have an episode next season on just the traumatic experience.
You were talking about your infusion, your bad one. I was like, honestly, we should just have like an episode of like the chaos.
Talking shit.
Yeah. Honestly, the real unfiltered chaos that happened. So let us know if you want that.
Yeah, let us know if you want it. And then the last question that we have for this season would be, what would you say to someone newly diagnosed who feels terrified or alone right now? Damn. Hi. Welcome to the Chronic Shit Show. Genuinely, I would just start by wanting to embrace you in a gentle hug. I mean, it sounds so silly, but you're not alone, and you're allowed to feel terrified. You really are, because it's scary. And I feel like I would just try to validate your feelings. Like, it is scary. You're valid for feeling all the things you're feeling, and really give you a safe space to feel your feelings and be honest about them and get them out there. I feel like sometimes when we maybe aren't feeling the best, or we're feeling negative, or we're feeling, doom and gloom, I think in society, a lot of times we're kind of conditioned to keep it to ourselves and to, stuff it down, conceal, don't feel type thing, where that can just lead to worsening feelings and worsening symptoms too. Like, our body remembers, our body stores a lot of stuff. So giving a safe space, or finding if you're in that position, if you're newly diagnosed and you are terrified, finding a safe space where you can just be truthful about your feelings and be honest about them is a game changer.
Yes, I agree with that. It sounds so silly, but you're not alone.
Yeah.
You will get through this. It's scary. I remember getting diagnosed and being so terrified and so overwhelmed. And there's so much information, because if you look, you may find some really scary stuff. But take it day by day. Build your support people. your support people. Build your support group.
Build your support system.
Take it day by day. You will get through this. Take it step by step. It's overwhelming. And when you're ready, and if you want to, reach out to people, talk to people. If it's too scary to talk about to people in your life, my DMs are open. I'm happy to be there. I remember when I was diagnosed, I had so many questions, and all I wanted to do was talk to someone who understood and got it, which is like why I also wanted to do this podcast, because I couldn't find one when I was diagnosed, and I just wanted to hear everyone's experience. That was my way of coping, and I wanted to be able to give that to someone else. So you are stronger than you think. You will get through this. It sucks. Allow yourself to feel all the feelings, but know you're not alone. There's people there for you, and you are loved. You matter, and you can get through this.
Absolutely. And listen to our first season of the podcast, because I think that there are, if I do say so myself, there are some really good nuggets.
I feel like we talked about a lot of different stages of like first diagnosed, the impact of it, X, Y, and Z.
And that was one of the main, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Why have I forgotten so many words today? Probably the migraine and crying myself to sleep last night. What's the word I'm fucking looking for? Intentions. One of the intentions for starting this podcast and for season 1 was sharing the advice that we wish we had when we were first diagnosed, and coming from, okay, well, we've been through it. This is our experience. This is what we wish we had known. And this is what we want to share with others who are newly diagnosed. So I do hope that you find some sense of comfort and peace in listening and taking what resonates, leaving what doesn't. But again, newly diagnosed, you want to feel those feelings. Don't run from them. Don't push them down. Don't hide them. Find a safe space, find your safe people, build your support system, reach out to others in the community, do what you feel you need, and take that time to be there. And remember, the grief process, it is a cycle, and you, again, have gotten through all of your bad days before. You will get through this too, but just giving yourself the space and grace to navigate through it. And it's okay to feel terrified.
Yeah, it's okay. And make sure you have a good medical team. If you need a therapist, get a therapist.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with reaching out for help and learning how to navigate this, because this is a life-changing diagnosis, and you have to learn to adapt, and you have to get those tools, and it's not easy. Right. And at the end of the day, though, I do think it will make you stronger. And you will get through it.
I don't want to be stronger. I want to be healthy.
Yeah. Like, I hate to say that, though, because I feel like saying, oh, you will get through this is kind of like diminishing the feeling of when you're first diagnosed. But it's like,
I think we come from an angle when we say that of like,
we got through it.
Is it because we've gone through it ourselves? And like in the moment, we both can recognize that we had the what the fuck moment of like, this is never going to get better. Doom and gloom. We both have felt that, and we both got to the other side. So we say that not in a way to diminish anyone's feelings, but in a way of like, I promise you. I promise you.
Like, I've lived it.
Exactly. Like, you will see the other side.
I never thought that I would get here, but I know how you feel getting that diagnosis and how scary. And it's like, just know you're not alone in that feeling. Other people feel that way. Also, if other people have specific topics that they want to hear, you can let us know, and we can touch on it if we haven't touched on it.
Absolutely. Well, with that being said, we have answered all of the Q&A that we have received. And yeah, wow, season 1 done.
I can't believe we're here.
I know, I can't believe it. And I can't believe you listened to everything. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. It's really exciting to see what seemed like an unrealistic dream to do is happening. And I think that also shows you never know where life is going to take you or what's going to happen or X, Y, and Z. Like, I wouldn't be here without this diagnosis. In some ways, that makes me thankful for my MS, because it's where I am today because of it.
Exactly. And yeah, I just want to say thank you guys so much for listening. Please like, subscribe, send this to somebody who you think could benefit from it. And we will be back.
We have some exciting things planned.
We have some really exciting plans that excite us. So in hopes, we think it'll excite you too. But we will be back for season 2, and possibly, not even possibly, we really will be doing a mini series in between. So you will not have to wait too long to hear from us. So don't worry. If you were worried, don't be worried, because you will hear from us. We will be back in your ears very soon.
We'll be back soon. Thank you for listening and all the support and love and your questions on everything. It just means the world. And it means that my experience isn't for nothing because I can help you.
Yeah, absolutely. And with saying that, if you have any feedback, please, we would love to hear it, whatever that might be. If you have topics that you want us to discuss in season 2, if you have things that you want to know more about, more questions, please do not hesitate to email us, reach out, just let us know. We would love to know if you enjoyed this, if you find some peace and some comfort from it. Let a hoe know, okay? Because we can't get better without some constructive criticism, you know?
Yeah, we also want it to be for you guys too. So
yes, we want to talk about things that you want to hear about, and just be here for each other. So with that being said, for the last time this season, I'm Ashleigh Rose. You can follow me on Instagram at @arose.
And I'm Jenna, and you follow me at MS with Jenna.
And we love you so much. Love you, mean it. Bye.
Bye.